Barry, if I could just jump in, I got a couple questions before you go further. So I'm noticing on column L in the gray areas that you have some headings that I guess represent each row. Could you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, I've mentioned a bunch of those statistics and summary information, and those headings are just right there in column L.
So those headings make sense, and I'm assuming that they are going to work across all those different summaries sections that you just showed us with all those nifty buttons on the top, right?
Correct. So let me just click the hide button again. We'll hide the trade setup section, and now we'll go to the trade. We'll hit the show button on the trade type summary, and give me a second. Let me scroll over here a little bit. Okay, under trade summary, what we'll find is that we have all trades. Here in this column right here, we have the winning trades. So this is cool because we can now analyze our trades by both winning trades, losing trades. In addition, we can also see long trades, short trades, long winners, short winners, long losers, and short losers. And in some of the other tabs, we'll actually see some analysis of that information so that you can get a sense of which types of trades are doing the best.
So in subsequent videos then, we're going to go ahead and explore some of these sections because there's just some, just a wealth of information to be discovered in each of these types of summaries where we can look at our trades inside and out. We could slice it and dice it a million different ways, and every now and then you happen upon a nugget of information that could really turn your trading around. So that's just really great.
That's right, Troy. And just so real quick, what we see is trade setups, trade types. Again, that's winners, losers, longs, and shorts. Performance summary, and this is a really cool section because there we talk about the winning percent, the profit factor, and the expectation. Those statistics help you analyze your system so you can decide if it's a really robust or moderately robust, but it lets you see how that system has progressed from the beginning to the end to see how stable or how consistent that trading system really is. Now, in addition, we have session summaries. So that's like the morning session, the afternoon session, the week, the month. Then we have time of day summary. And that's really cool because what you could do is find out that maybe there's a 15 or 30 or 1 hour period during the day when you get a lot higher probability of winners that make a much higher profit factor than other times of the day. And for those of you that only want to trade for maybe an hour, 2 hours a day, that's a great way to isolate those times of the day that are great for trading. And then finally we have the day of the week trading. And the day of the week, maybe Monday's a better trading day, but sometimes it's Mondays and Thursdays or whatever it is you can find out. So that's a pretty nifty feature too. And then just to scroll over just a little bit more. So here we have the power of quitting, which is gives you the ability to create sort of a goal. Maybe you want to quit after 2 wins and you're positive, or you want to quit after so many losses. So that power of quitting analysis allows us to go into that and figure out what's the best goal setting for that. And finally, we have a section here where we can look at the equity curves.
Wow, Barry, that's really cool. So the power of quitting analysis is going to allow you to actually analyze your data in a whole different way and really finish your strategy for your trade plan where you can actually decide how you want to quit for the session, and you can look at all different scenarios. That's a pretty powerful tool. We're going to end this video here shortly and then start another one where we're going to get into all these tabs along the bottom. But before we quit, I just want to ask you one thing. I notice that you have a lot of different color codes, different cells with different colors and what have you, and maybe you can just give a brief explanation of what the different colors signify to help it, to help us interpret this spreadsheet a little better.
Yeah, we try to color code the different sections of the summary and the statistics areas to make it a little easier for your eye to train in on the information that you want. So anywhere there's this bright yellow box or cell is where the user can enter data. So you can see that when you first get the sheet, you'll have to type in a little bit of information, the symbol, the chart period, how many dollars per point, things of that nature, your starting capital. We also have some areas here that you can enter the round-trip commission or the round-trip slippage. We also have what we call fixed fractional money management. This will be a really cool feature when we get into that, but it'll allow you to figure out how many contracts you can be putting on based upon a risk factor and something like your average loss or your maximum loss. And again, it takes that information, figure out how many contracts you can be putting on to your trade. Down here, we have what we call filters that we can specify something about that trade. In this case, we have a fixed entry, a trailing entry, or an optional type of an entry. And over here we have the setup type. These aren't yellow, but they can be programmed in so that you have 1 of 5 setup types. We have 1 of 5 exit types. And then we have another optional filter where you can specify something else that you'd like to keep track of about that trade. And then once again, we can put in the starting row and the ending row to actually perform the analysis on. So Troy, those are the entry fields that we have that allow you to get a little bit of control over the sheet to do some of the analysis.
Wow, that's awesome. A little bit of control. It looks like, I could almost launch the space shuttle to the moon with this thing. It's a little bit daunting and overwhelming, and I felt that way when I first saw it too. But don't worry, we're going to get into detail on how to use each of these features in the subsequent videos that follow this one. Barry, just to finish off this quick intro tour, maybe you can just go over some of those navigation buttons right in the middle and just give us a quick little overview of what they do.
Sure, Troy, that sounds great. Well, one of the things we found out when we were developing the spreadsheet, it was a little hard to navigate around it, so we built in some buttons in there to help do that. So you can just press some of these buttons. So like you want to go to the first trade or the top of the trade log, you press go to first trade. If you want to go to the bottom or the last trade in the log, you press the go to last trade button and it pops you down to the very last trade that you've entered. Another cool feature is you can go to date. So if you type go to date in there, you can specify a date. So I'll put in there January 1st of 2010, and what'll be interesting about this is there is no January 1st trade, but the system was smart enough to figure to go to the next one after that, so it went to January 4th. I've already pointed out the basic view, which allows you to enter the data and see the results of your trades, and then the expanded view, which allows us to go into some of the specific trade type analysis. There are a couple more buttons in there that we can also copy a trade. We'll go over that in a little more detail later, but if you are entering a double trade system or a 2 or 3 trade system, you can tell it to copy the trade above and it'll put that in the next line down. We also have, in case the formulas get messed up in the trade log, we have a button here that'll refresh all the formulas below line or row 29, which is the area where the trade log is entered. And then we have this button here for the equity curve, which is a different tab that goes through the analysis of the risk management or money management and risk analysis and shows you the potential of your trading system going forward if you'd have used proper money management and risk management. So those are one more. There's a clear log here. Well, of course, you don't want to press that, but I'll go ahead and press it, just show you. It gives you a caution. It says it's going to clear all the trades in the log. So you don't want to do that unless you want to get rid of them and start with a new log. So I'll cancel out of that for now. So there you go, Troy. Those are the navigation buttons that we've programmed into the spreadsheet.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a super convenient feature or features. The clear log button is very useful. I recommend that everybody save as, save a copy first. Then you could hit the clear log button and you can get a blank sheet, a blank database, if you will, and you can start analyzing your euro-yen Forex crosses or whatever. Well, that's great. That pretty much gives us a good overview of the spreadsheet as you open it up. Of course, we're going to get into this in greater detail, but without further ado, we're going to end this video, and on the next one, we're going to start exploring some of these colorful and nifty tabs along the bottom.